though this was part two of Girl Meets World, Girl Meets High School, this seems like a whole new beginning. And I really do believe that that is what they were trying to reach. When it comes to the main crew, I guess including Zay and Smackle, they had to understand that things in middle school were different than things in high school. And even though the big seniors, that's pretty much a carbon copy of Maya, Riley, and Lucas and the whole love triangle thing, and them trying to teach a lesson for them throwing in a hole was a ridiculous cop out and just something that they wrote in there. I'm not gonna say out of sheer laziness, but out of Disneyness mostly. But honestly, guys, it did have it had a decent message going through. I guess it had a decent message. Honestly, I'm gonna put it this way: I thought it was a giant cop out with the seniors. The seniors put him in a hole was not for them to teach him a lesson, and it's funny how they picked them, but when they didn't really know them. I just found that really weird. But other than that, it actually showed that things that when you leave someplace, it's never gonna be the same how you when you leave. The place that you go to is always going to be different. It's always going to be new. It's always going to be something that you're going to learn. And it's always going to be a lot of challenges and adversaries. But the fact of the matter is, they knew that, hey, we are all in the same boat together. Why don't we stick together and figure this out? Why don't we stick together and figure out high school and never break? Because those seniors did break apart, like they said in the actual show. And it was just the three of them stuck in a triangle and not getting out. They were seniors and they still couldn't figure out how they felt. Weird, because usually when you're a senior you kind of figure out exactly what you want. Just saying, you're not necessarily stuck where you are. You have 4 years to figure all that out. That's the one thing that kind of bugs me. They tried to literally give you an idea. Hey, we didn't forget about the love triangle, it's still there. No, I would have been happy if they left it alone and had the love triangle be brought up towards the middle when one of them starts to stray and go in another direction. But at this point, they actually used those seniors to remind you that there was a love triangle going on and didn't want you to forget. And I thought that was a cop-out writing-wise. But despite all that, the biggest moment that I actually saw was Ava. Ava's Ava's personal issues for the second part of the show actually was fairly good. It was a lot better than the main crew. Seeing how a lot of people actually go through divorce day by day, and seeing how young Ava is, and she was going through divorce with her parents, and the fact that she had somebody to lean on really did, I mean, it did shine. It outshined the main crew's episode, in my opinion. Because Ava was always an obnoxious little girl, and you never really knew why she was that obnoxious, but now you kind of know why. Her parents have been fractured since the very beginning, and then they actually did bringing that up, but instead of having Augie as the husband, he was more as the best friend. And I like him more as the best friend than the husband. But then it also brought a lot of family dynamics together. Corey and Topanga came together as parents when it came to Augie, and also when it came to Ava. They were substitute parents for her. And I love what they did with Ava. They didn't make Ava so obnoxious, but they did everything they could to make her feel better, and I thought that was amazing. That was way better than what's going on in the main episode. But the one thing about the main episode that does bother me is that we are literally seeing Riley being completely separated from her family. Not totally separated, because of course she's in a class with her dad. But the thing is, it would be nice for the family dynamic to come together and actually the family talk this whole thing out. Because I know that Corey does the same thing in his class as well as outside of class. But it would be nice if Topanga actually did have her say as well, and they come together as a family. But I'm not really seeing that much with Riley. And I know that Maya sees them as a family too, when of course her mom is busy. But other than that, I would love to see them come together as a family, more so than just being friends come together, but actually have the family come together, especially when the parents experienced it as well. But that's the one thing I would like to see, more of a family dynamic, not so much of a friend dynamic, because if the friends are going through the same thing as you, they're not going to really have the answers to anything. It's always good to go to somebody that knows, like what Riley said in the episode. And the person that knows the most are her parents. So why don't you have her go to her parents instead of having to try to figure out with her friends? But other than that, guys, the ending of the episode actually was pretty good. I don't have any beef with that, and they actually knew that it was best to stick together because we're all going through the same exact thing. And I loved Corey's teaching at the very end when he took all the desks out and talking about the Alamo. He actually did what he did in middle school and brought it to high school, and I thought it was great. It's a shame that I thought he was going to go Mr. Feeney's route and become the principal and have them have a whole new teacher like they did in the series, but maybe they didn't want it to be a carbon copy. But other than that, it still was a good way to teach. It was a good way for him to teach the class how he would taught them in middle school, and it was amazing of how the lesson kind of portrayed exactly where they were going. And he still allowed them to talk. And I thought that was really great. I thought that was a great way to close off the show. But like I said, and well, I guess the overall view of my video is this. I loved the episode. I had no beef with it. It was a more of a realistic ending, seeing how, okay, my friends are going through this as well, so I think we should all stick together. I thought that was a great premise. I love what they did with Ava and the secondary plot of this entire episode. I love what they did with Ava. I love how they came together as a family that she hasn't had in ever, and they actually became a substitute family for her. I like that. I do want to see more of a family dynamic between Riley, Topanga, and Corey, and have Corey be parents not only to just Augie, but also be parents to Riley as well. Especially when they went through the exact same thing. It'll be great for them to all come together as a family and not just cater to one. But I'm still kind of interested in seeing what direction they're going to go with Lucas. It looks like they're teasing us about possibly Maya being the girl. But honestly, I kind of want the love triangle to hold off until maybe towards the middle of the season, and then we're going to have a big payoff towards the end. But seeing how they changed it around to where we're not really seeing Josh there as a guide, who knows what they're going to do. But honestly, guys, that's my thoughts about this episode. What are your thoughts? Leave a comment in the comment section below. I'm curious to hear how you guys felt about this episode of Girl Meets World. I'm kind of looking forward to the whole Jessica episode. I think that's going to be hilarious. But guys, I want to hear your overall thoughts about this episode. That's it for me. I'm out of here. Naturegirl 30 signing off. Peace out, y'all. Later.